Alright, what's up there, SGK users? Poker here again. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off everything but traversal in the game animation sample today. Gonna clean it up. If you remember from the last video, we went from motion that looks like this to motion that looks like this, which is a lot better, but there's still a lot missing here. I mean, the pivots on it, they're actually a lot better than what we're seeing right here. We got a lot better starts that we can have and stops. And I can't get it to do it right now. Oh, there we go. So sometimes it does that. Other times it will, like when you come to a stop, it just keeps running. So there are issues, definitely issues with it the way it is. And we can definitely clean it up and make it a lot better. And by that, I mean there's a few things I need to change up here real quick to re-enable the almost finished product. This is only using one part of it so far. We're going to be adding some more to it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I need to change that. And then here. All right, so this is after everything that we're going to add today. The stops are much better. Pivots are much more transitional. Got a good lean going on when we turn. Stops are good. Yeah, it's just such an improvement. Now, I'll be honest, it is a kind of time-consuming and tedious project, but it's not hard. It's just kind of a few things you have to do, but totally worth it, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first thing we're going to do is go into our character. So we need to add a couple of variables to our character. And those variables are going to be a land velocity, which is a vector, and a boolean, which is called just landed. And essentially you want to create those two variables in your character and then add this onto your event on landed, which is in the event graph miscellaneous collapse node. We need a character movement velocity, set that velocity to our land velocity, add a just landed that's ticked on, add a delay of 0.3, add a just landed that is ticked off. All right, that is our character. Now, we're going to change up a couple things that we did in the other one for the walk. So, next thing we want to do is go ahead and go to our player inventory. And if you remember how our player walk key was the other day, we're going to change it up here. We're going to get rid of the player walk or server or walk key down variable and replace that with a enum here called gate. Now, when you migrated all the animations from Game Animation Sample the other day, doing the other tutorial, if you took the data folder that was along with it, then you'll have the gate enum. If not, go ahead and create it, or you can go ahead and migrate that now. Probably migrate the whole data folder. So you're probably going to end up using that at the end of everything. So, but if you've moved anything in your project since we've made this tutorial or done this to our project, you're going to lose references. So it might be easier just to make the new gate key or gate variable. It's just a numerator with 3 enumerators on it: walk, run, and sprint. Sprint's actually not being used right now. But anyway, once you've created that variable on your player inventory, we want to check to see if it's equal to walk. That's going to come after this first branch. If it is equal to walk, then we want it to set it to run. And we're going to go ahead and call our update max movement speed again. And we're also going to go ahead and set the sprint key down. As a matter of fact, we could probably better to put this right here, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, better. All right. So yeah, when we press it and we're not in the walk, or we're already walking, it's going to set it to run. Disable the sprint key. Actually, we don't want to disable the sprint key there. We want to only disable it there. Or no, we want to disable it anyway because, yeah, this is fine. All right, and then if it's not for not walking, then it's going to set it to walk. And then go ahead and set your sprint key down here too. All right, and then also we want to add here to our server sprint key a run. And you're probably saying, how come we're not using sprint? Well, it's because they don't actually have the sprint set up in the game animation sample as of 5.4, which is what we're working on. I think that they might have added it in 5.5, but we're using this one like this. So set it to run. And that's pretty much all we got to do in here. Oh, no, actually, we need to go to... where is that? Where is that at that we need? All right. Oh, it's in this right here. Update max movement speed, duh. All right, so we're just going to change our... We used to have walk key down right here on this bool. We just want to change it to our equals walk. Same thing down here. Get rid of this walk key down and change it with this walk. All right, so that's done. Now, essentially what I did here at this point was I went into the Game Animation Sample project here. Went into Blueprints, ABP Sandbox Character, and I just went down the line here in the functions, copying everything over. Set references, all that's really doing is it's getting our pawn owner of the blueprint. Of course, you're going to want to set this to the SGK master character, create a variable out of it, then also create a character movement. And then that goes on the blueprint event initialize animation. So, oops. Right here, after is character component ready, you would add that particular function. I have mine doing other stuff too, but just put it in there. It's the same, like I said, get pawn owner, master character, character movement. And then, like I said, just go down the line in here. Copying functions out of here. Pasting them into here. Just paste function in here. Now when you paste a new function, you're going to have, there's going to be missing variables and stuff like that. No big deal. You're just going to, once you have them pasted in here, let's see, where's a good example. All right, so update essential values. That's your main values here. Character transform, you're going to need to create that. Most of these variables in here you are going to have to recreate. Just go ahead and recreate them. This I wasn't really using, but I'm going to go ahead and put that in here so I can show you if you want to use it or not. But just go through, create a function, open up the function, create all the variables you need to. When you initially create this function here, the update essential values, you're going to get in a compile error on this node right here. Don't worry about it for now. Just keep pasting your variables and stuff in. I'm going to go and hook this back up because we're going to hook this up. But yeah, just create all the variables. Go through each function. Paste it into the SGK. And then once you're done, we'll move on to the next one. So I'm going to give you a minute here to go ahead and do that. So go ahead and pause this video here. And when you're done adding every single... Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and show you a couple things too you need to know here. All right, so when you get to, like, say, the just landed, you're going to see these weird variables. I don't know if you've ever seen them before or not. They're a little bit different, but they're just a standard old variable. And what this is doing is if you go to... You scroll down here and you find the character, which is right here. And this is the character that we made right here. So you're looking through the character, that character variable. And then you would just look for landed, just landed. Like when you, after you copy everything in, it's going to say sandbox character, just landed. So it's going to tell you what variable you're looking for. It's just going to have a different name here. So don't worry about it. Just go to character, set it up. Then of course, like on this one, the velocity Z, we go to character, we'll go to land. Oh, I'm on the bool one. Let's go to this one. So character. Where is it? There it is. Land. Then you can choose from X, Y, or Z, and of course this one's asking for Z. And then double check on Game Animation Sample for any other variables too to see what their values are, because there are several variables, excuse me, that you do need to set the value of. For instance, heavy land speed right here. So you're going to have a couple of those that do that. Should turn in place. That one's not necessarily required. It doesn't seem to want to work. And SGK has a turn in place already in it that does still work even after our changes. So you can leave it out or add it. It's up to you. But keep in mind it doesn't work at this point. So yeah, add every single variable here. Let's see if there's anything else that we needed. Paste functions and add them in. Paste functions create the variables once every single one of them is done. All the way down to steering. Steering should be the last one, the last couple of them here. Once you have all those done, go ahead and unpause this video and we'll go ahead and get on with the rest of it. Alright, now that you've got all of your functions pasted in, you're probably still getting this compile error with the offset root. That's because we're still missing one node from that, and that's from the animation graph of the animation sample blueprint. So go ahead and open that up. And we're going to go ahead and copy everything on here except for these two AOs. So we're going to get that. Oop. Well, here, it'd be easier if we just copy everything here. And we're not getting the pose history, and we're not getting the motion matching for now. So just highlight everything, untick those two right there, copy, go into our animation graph up by the top somewhere and just paste it in there. All right, once it's pasted in there, this right here, this is optional. This is what's causing that compile error. I'll show you what it does real quick here and why I have it disconnected. I don't like what it makes it do. So oh, I don't have it hooked up over here. See on the Where does that go? It goes on. Is it in here? No, it's not in there. It's in update essential values. That's right. Right here. All right. So as you can see, the crosshair is moving, like the character's camera. It's making the camera move. I don't like that at all. That's very annoying. Not my cup of tea there, so we're going to just go ahead and leave that disconnected. But that's what's causing your compile error. So you can either bypass it, use it, whatever. I'm bypassing it. All right. So now I guess we can go and do the RAOs here. So when you migrated, you may have copied over the AOs or not. If you haven't, you can. You don't really the lean one's not hard to recreate, but it's probably easier just to go ahead and do it. So go in, characters, mannequins, animations. You need the neutral AO stand. So you can just migrate this and the stuff that comes along with it. And then also in the run, you can do this one right here. Migrate this one in. That's the one that it uses. And as you can see, all it does is just lean the character a bit. So once you get those copied in or migrated in and retargeted, there's a couple things you need to take a look at on those animations. Where are they? Let's see, we'll do run. Let's see, pose. So you're gonna have a pose. Where's the base pose? Pose base. Let's try the first one. Yeah, it's right here. So in pose base, you want to go down and take a look at the additive settings. Because in pose base, it is set to mesh space. And then the base pose type is frame from this animation, frame 0. As you can see, this animation is just a still frame. And then also the same with the left. There's a left and a right. Both of those actually use a selected animation frame, and it uses the pose base, the one we were just looking at, this one. So make sure that left and right both have this guy here, the pose base, as their additive setting. And then also, when you get to the aim offset, you're going to have the same thing. There's going to be, these should all be fine. But there is a stand idle loop in here. So you want to make sure that that's set to our stand idle loop here. And then make sure these are set. If it didn't copy over, it should copy over though. And then once you have that copied over, what you need to do is go into the AO folder here. And this is our base here, the XO_YO. That's our base. See, there's nothing here. Oh, it does. It has a additive setting here, which is itself actually. So selected animation frame. Then we're going to use itself on this one. Then all the other ones, the 45s and 90s, they all use the XOYO. So what you could do is highlight all these, right click, asset actions, edit selection and property matrix, go down here to the additive settings and just set every single one of them here, hit once. So again, you want to make sure that all of your AO stand animations have the stand XO underscore YO as their base pose mesh here. So once you've done that, you can save all of those up. And then to add it, you just simply drag it in. Oh, it's not oh yeah, I did. And then for the stand, we right click it. And after this is it. After we've already made all of our functions over here, we will now have our, what is it? Get AO value, which is going to be blue because it's, I forget what they call that particular variable with the X and the Y on it. But yeah, you want, for the first one, we want the X. Second one, we want the Y. So just set both of those. Connect it up to our blend pose here. All of this stuff, as long as you had already put all of these functions in over here on this side, when you paste this part of the animation graph in, all of these variables should already be set, except for the blend spaces because we are redoing those too. But everything else here should be as it should be. But if you have any doubts, just double check them between yours and the one from the game animation sample. Because that's basically all we've done is just completely copied the entire game animation sample blueprint and put all of its functions and code into our blueprint. And then we're merging it into our other code. So, all right, so once you have all of that done, the next step is going to be to go ahead and create a new chooser. So we already have our CHT Manny from yesterday, which just has our basic databases in here for idle, walk, run, jump, crouch. And as you can see, when we update it, we have some stand idles, some stand walks, stand runs, and then the jump stuff. But when you look in here, there's a bunch of different ones for the stand. And if you look at Game Animation Sample and the motion matching data, they have a dense and a sparse database. Now, I'm not 100% sure what exactly this is for. When I set this up initially, I use what with the dense stuff because that's where all the jump information is. The sparse just has the loops, starts, stops, and pivots for run and walk, whereas dense has all that much more. So I've already set up all of these databases, but that's what we need to do is go ahead and the easiest way to do it is just have it open a database from Game Animation Sample in one screen. We'll go ahead and we'll pretend we have two monitors here viewing. We have two monitors, and you should too. I mean, if you're a dev in 2025 without a second monitor, it's probably time to reevaluate your life choices. But anyway, we'll go ahead and take a look at, where's walk? All right, walk pivots. We'll take walk pivots here from the sample, open it up here, and then we will go in here and we will take a look at our walk, what we can do. The easiest way that I found to do it is since all of our initials that we made yesterday or the other day have every single animation in them, when we're doing all of our walk ones here, what we can do is just duplicate our walk. Oh, this one's already been done, so. Right, so yeah, just duplicate the walk here. And if we go into, what were we doing? We were doing walk pivots. They're not in there. They're going to be back here. Walk pivots. So we're going to open up This is our walk pivot database. Wait. I don't think that should have that much in there, but anyway, open up. Let me move that over there. Put this over here. Open that back up and put it over here. So from Manny on our walk, we've just duplicated it. So we have all these animations in here. Loops, pivots, starts, stops. We're doing a pivot. So we would duplicate it, rename it dense walk pivot. Go in here, look for all the stop. Highlight them all, delete them. Same thing for start. Loops, we need to get rid of the loops. So now all we should have left in here is pivot. So basically you're going to need to do that for each one. So just duplicate our initial walk, delete all the stuff you don't need out of it, or duplicate your walk, rename it to what it's supposed to be, like pivots or starts or stops. Delete everything out of it that you don't need. All right, so you need to do that with all the dense databases. Now, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and add all the sparse stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the sparse databases into mine right now. And that's kind of boring, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Once I'm done recreating all of the sparse databases in my project, we'll go ahead and finish on the tutorial here. So see you here in a few. And so real quick, while we're doing this, just a reminder. All we're doing is just copying basically everything from the Game Animation Sample project. So if you have any questions, you're not sure about it, just look at it and make sure, like if you're not sure if you have all the animations or not, just compare the two. That's why it's probably a good idea to name your new databases the same as the databases in the kit. That way it's easier to match them up and look at them. So still not done yet here, but we'll get back to it here. I'll be back in a few. All right, another real quick one here. When you get to the run loops, you're going to find that you don't want to get rid of a couple of the walk and run again. Just make sure that you're double checking against the ones from the game animation sample. So as long as you match up everything in the databases with your stuff, you should be good. So, all right, so now that we're all done with copying all of our databases, all 100 of them, now there's really not, it just seems like there's a lot. There's 8 in the sparse, and there is 23 if you did this turn in place, 22 if you did not, so 30 or 31 is really not that bad. All right, so when you were looking at your game animation sample content databases here, you may have noticed down here that they have a normalization set. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. I have no idea what those are for, but we're just going to go ahead and add them anyway. And again, we're just going to do exactly what they got here. We'll make a new folder here. Call it normalization sets. Oop, stupid autosave. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Yeah. All right, so, and then it's going to be an animation, motion matching, pose, search, normalization set. And we'll just call it PSN. And we'll just do like they have it, call it dense all. Now we're going to need another one. Let's take a look at what's in these real quick here. So this basically just has a bunch of links to our databases. big array. That's the alt dense. Let's take a look at sparse. Sparse uses several of the dents. Alright, so let's just go ahead and set our stuff up here. We'll just go ahead and do the dents all first, and then we can just duplicate that and replace the ones we don't need to. So let's open this up. We got 15 arrays we need here. Having a second one, there we go. Alright, and then actually I'll just use the content browser, that'll be easier. Alright, so we are looking for our dense database. And it looks like, alright, so we got jumps, idle lands light, stand idles. I'm just going to do them exactly how they have it. Lands light again. Oh, runs lands light. Run loops. Run pivots. Run starts. Run stops. Walk lands light. Oops. Where's walk lands light? Oh, I see. All right, walk light. And then we need walk loops. Walk pivots. Walk starts. Walk stops. And then we need run from traversal. Where is it? Right there. And then the turn in place. Maybe that's why it didn't work before. Okay, where is it? Right there. All right, so that is our dents all. We'll go ahead and duplicate that. And then we will call that sparse all. I believe that's what it's called in the other one. Yep, sparse all. All right, so now let's do our sparse all. We'll just duplicate the dense all, rename it sparse all. And we're going to go ahead and here take a look at Game Animation Sample. It looks like jumps is the same. Stand idles is the same. Or lands light is the same. Stand idles is the same. Then stand run lands is the same. So this one is going to be, so our run loops. Looks like our sparse stuff is going to be the loops and the pivots in the sparse folder here. So run loops, run pivots, run starts, and run stops. And then, yep, same for the walks. So we're just replacing our dents loops, pivots, starts, and stops with our sparse. So, all right, so now if that's set, let's go ahead and take a look. I just open up all the sparse ones here in the thingy. So the easiest thing to do would be open the property matrix here. It looks like, let's see. Yeah, every single one of them. If we go to our sparse, highlight them all, right click, asset actions, edit selection and property matrix. We can set our normalization here to our sparse. Save it. And it looks like there's a couple things we're going to have to mess with in here because I see some things that are different in the game animation blueprint. Their game animation sample. So, but first, we'll get these set up. It looks like dense. Is it going to be the same? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, let's see. Do this again. Yep, so every single one of the dents also has, so we can go to asset actions, property matrix, and then we can set our normalization set to dents. All right, so now let's take a look at, looks like we're gonna have to look at these two because they have multiple values as well. Again, this is where you can compare stuff to the game animation sample kit and see if you're missing anything. But we're going to take a look here. There we go. Finally done saving. Let's go ahead and just open all of our sparse. We'll just edit so we have individual of each one. And we're going to do the same thing in the game animation sample kit. Open all 8 of them. And let's see. That looks fine. That looks fine. All right, let's see here. All right, so first thing I see is that on the walk loops in the game animation sample. Oh, it's already set there. Oh, I'm sorry. It is run stops. Run stops. This number here is just negative 0.1 instead of 0.01. That looks like the only difference there. Run starts. We have a value of negative 0.05. Run pivots is also negative 0.05. It looks like run loops is default, so there's 3 of them there we had to change. Stops, starts, and pivots. And then we might as well check the dents as well. We're just going to do we'll do 6 at a time so it's not so take forever. Same thing, we're going to compare them to Game Animation Sample. Alright, so looks like the idle, dense idle on Game Animation Sample, we have a base cost bias here of 0.1. Idle lands light. We have right here is negative 0.15. Lands heavy is the same. Negative 0.15. Jumps from traversal. We have a negative 0.5 here. And then a negative 0.1 here. Jumps far. Negative 0.3. Negative 0.3. And then just the standard jumps is negative 0.5. Then also, I just noticed on here, let's see, is this here, run heavy L foot? I guess they're not even in mine. In the Game Animation Sample kit, there are some animations here that are disabled. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but we don't, I guess apparently we don't need them. I didn't even add them to mine, but anyway, so now that that's all set, we'll save that. That's the first 6. Go with the next 6 here. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here because you don't need to see me do every single one of these. You know what you need to do. Just compare them, see what those numbers say on each database, set them the same. So we'll be back in a minute. All right, so one thing I missed on the earlier ones is that some of these have tags too. Like, let's see, where are we at? Where's pivots? Yep, pivots. So we're on run pivots here. We have a tag here, pivots. Come on. So just double check those. I probably missed one somewhere else. I'm going to double check them all, the ones that I've already done before I come back. So I'll be back in a minute. Just make sure you check out the tags too, because every once in a while some of them have tags. So all right, so now that we have all of our databases set up with those adjustments that we just made, I did find that the turn in place and pivots, the run pivot and walk pivots were just the run pivots were the only ones that actually had tags along with the turn in place. So the run and the sparse and the run and the dense both had, the run pivots had tags. I didn't see any tags on anywhere else. If any of you guys spotted any tags that I missed, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here again real quick because I need to take a little break for a minute, so I'll be back. All right, we're back. Had to go have a quick smoke there real quick and grab myself a beer. It's only 3 o'clock local, but I'm sure it's beer 30 somewhere. So if anybody's out there drinking, cheers. All right. So we've got our databases all set up. We've gotten all of our functions from our animation blueprint copied over and set up. I don't remember if I mentioned this when we did the animation blueprint. If we set this up or not. And why are we not doing anything? But anyway. In the animation graph on the motion matching node, there is this code here. I don't remember if we had copied that over from Game Animation Sample or not, but we do need to do that. or want to anyway. So get that copied over. Everything should be fine. You may find that this is not labeled right here, down here at the bottom at local blend stack input. If it's not, just name it that, and then you'll get rid of the compile errors that you might have. So once we've got that copied, our next step here is to, I'm still kind of curious why I'm like that. Hang on a second. All right, so it looks like the reason it's doing the T-pose is because of we're just not finished yet. So let's go ahead and finish. So what we need to do now is go into choosers. Gonna need to create several choosers actually. Well, the first one, let's call it CHT SGK main. And I'm gonna go ahead and rename this one here. This one I already have set up. This is my dents. So I'm just going to go ahead and rename it to main dents. So you're going to want to create a dents. Oh, it's course. Course, I can't rename it. And then the stupid, if I delete it, then it's gone forever. So, all right. So just make yourself you need 3 choosers. A main one, a dense, and a light, or a sparse. So I need one more here. All right, and then we'll go ahead and do the main first. We will go ahead, and it is going to be context object type class. It's going to be our animation blueprint. So third person animation blueprint. And then let's see, I believe that it might be a different object class out here. Let's take a look. This is our main. All right, so we're going to read and write this guy. And it's going to be a pose search database. And for fallback result, we want to set it to evaluate chooser. And it has the dents, or our, I guess I'm going to have to use that one. Is it going to work like that? Nope, didn't think so. So it's going to have to use our dents for that. That's our backup. That's everything in the main settings there. Now we want to add 2 rows, and they are, I believe they're going to be evaluate choosers as well. Yep. So we want, oh, I didn't make a sparse yet. Yeah, I did. Oh, because we need to set this up too. Let's see. It's going to be just have the same settings. We're going to object type class, third person animation, read and write, pose search database is the output. All right. Now it should probably show up here as the option. Yep. All right, so we get our dense and our sparse. Oh, no, we need one more because we got this dense is actually the fallback, so we need one more. And that's actually going to be our dense. So the dent should be there twice. And I don't know if it really matters or not, but over here it's actually this way around. Dense first, then sparse. And then the column that's added is a float, and it's going to be the blend, or no. All right, so yeah, it's the database load. I was kind of confused. It's down here, and it looks a little different color down here, but that's it. And it looks like the settings that they have in here, 0 on the first one, 1 on the second one. So if it's not, that's how it switches there between 0 and 1. If it always falls back to the dense, if nothing else. So that's all we got to do on there, it looks like. And now we need to go to our sparse. And we need to set up all of our rows. And you're going to need to do this on your, for dense as well. I don't think we went over that yet. So yeah, this is going to do the exact same thing for your dense because the sparse is set up exactly the same. So we're going to do nested chooser. We need 4 of them. And to change them, what you do is click on it, go to new nested chooser. First one is called stand idles. Second one is called stand walks. Third one is stand runs. And the last one is called in air. And then what we can do here while we're here is go ahead and set up our columns. Again, this is just copying the game animation sample. So we set the first one to enum, that's movement mode. Second one's also an enum. Actually, all of these on this right here are going to be enums. This one's going to be stance, movement state, and then lastly gate. And I'm going to go ahead and set them up how they're here. This one is set to in air, everything else is on ground there. This one, if you click the equal, if you notice we got a not equal. So we got an equal, a not equal, and then an any, which is where this should be. Those should all be stand. This should be idle, this should be moving, moving, any. And gate should be any here. Should have walk, run, and this should also be any. All right, so that's that. That's all of our conditions. Whether it's going to use, which one of these it's going to use. And then now we got to come in here to our idles. And if you look over on Game Animation Sample, there's 6 of them. So, and those are just going to be assets. And we're going to set those to our That's kind of weird that it's using the dense on the sparse, but oh well. All right, so yeah, so it's showing these in the dense. Okay, I see this. So the idles, stand idles. Dense stand idle. That's a dense. Walk stops and starts. Or actually it's run walks and run stops. Those are both going to be sparse. And again, I'm just putting them in the order that they're in over here. I don't think that it matters, but we'll just do it. And then this is going to be dense for lands. So it's a dense lands light. Dense lands heavy. Then turn in place. Which again, doesn't seem to want to work, so it doesn't really matter on that one. And then we're going to have to add our columns in here too. First one being gate. Second one is going to be a float range, and that's going to be our speed 2D. Now, if you notice, there are several variables that are being duplicated here, such as speed and speed 2D. Speed is the original one that came with SGK. The speed 2D came with the motion matching. We can later on, if you want, you can go through and get rid of some of the duplicates if you want, but we're just going to go ahead and leave it for now. So we're going to use speed 2D. And in the game animation sample, they have this at 20, 20, 20, and everything else is 999. And then we want any here. We want walk, we want run. And then the rest of these are all any. And then we need a bool column, and that's going to be our just landed light. Another one, just landed heavy. And then a third one that we don't necessarily need for the should turn in place. All right, and then on just landed light, we got false, 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 true, false, and false, 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 true, false, false, any, true on the bottom one. All right, so that's that. It's our stand idles. Then same thing, you're gonna want to go through, do for the stand walks, the stand runs, and the jumps. Again, just copy what is on Game Animation Sample Blue, or Game Animation Sample Project, not Blueprint, but copy their sparse, all the settings here too as well, for every chooser here. I'm not going to drag out this video by recording that, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it again while I finish up my sparse, and then we'll be back. Alright, so now that we've got all of our databases set into our data tables here, when you got to the in area, you might have had a little bit of an issue finding time to land. Where it is it is under trajectory collision, time to land. So hopefully you found that. Got your settings here. Make sure you got all your settings for all the different things here. Make sure they're all set how they are on the animation blueprint. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and go into our third person animation blueprint. And this should be pretty much it, barring any kind of issues that we may have here. So we're going to go ahead and hook everything up the way it's supposed to be. Let's make sure that we got update. Yes, we are updating our stuff. We want to go to this. Still check, yeah, we're using that. And then what we want to do is go here to our chooser with the array on it. We're going to set that to our new main here. It doesn't look like it's fixed our issue there with the T-pose, which is kind of concerning. But anyway, this should technically work unless we miss something along the line here. Oh, we got a T-pose. And we're T-posing. Lean's working. Well, it looks like we definitely missed something somewhere. All right, so we're unpaused here. Let's figure out what's going on here. Just for the record, I did not do any troubleshooting while I was away. I just went and used the bathroom and had a cigarette real quick to think. So it all started pretty much when we started editing the database stuff. So we're on the SGK main. So one thing I had just thought of is that if you remember on SGK main here, we set it to read write over here on the direction. Oh, my main went away like I figured it would. I don't know how to retrieve a redirector. Great. So I'm going to have to recreate my other one here. It's not sparse, so looks like I'll be back in a few. All right, so I just went ahead and reverted it through revision control. So now we have our CHT main back and it's normal looking and all that. Now one thing, let's check here back on our game. Oops, I restarted my computer while I was away too. So I need to reopen the game animation sample. But my guess is that, why does our main still not look right though? Let's get that. Oh, well. Yeah, why is it not yellow? I don't get it. Alright, well anyway. Remember these have read write. I bet you anything that this is supposed to be read write too. Not saying that's going to fix the issue, but let's take a look. Make sure this still has... Nope, I didn't think so. Let's see if that fixed our issue or not. Nope, does not appear to have. But you saw when it first started out, there was actually, had the animation, so it's kind of weird. Alright, so next step would be to... Oh, let's message. I think our next step would be to go ahead and... Okay, let me double game animation samples open. Let's see if what it has there. So yeah, they all should be read right apparently. Yep, they're all read right. And we did set our main to be an evaluate chooser, correct? Pretty sure. Yep. Alright, so that should all be good. So what else did we change? We added the context thingies to our databases. So let's go ahead and try that. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of the normalization set here. See if that changes anything. Nope. Oh, you know what we need to do? Let's go ahead and let's go back to our, just using our original, what do you call it, chooser, the main. Oh, it's good to see it's back to its normal color again. So we're going to use main, not SGK main. We still don't have the idle animation in here. What's going on with that? Alright, did I forget something somewhere else? Because this is broken pretty good. I can't believe it's not working right now. Did I forget to hook something up somewhere? In here. Yep. All right, so the only other thing really that we changed would be all of those these settings, like the pose cost bias and all that. Tag shouldn't matter, but we'll just go ahead and reset them anyway. And now let's see. Oh, interesting. All right, so there's the problem right here. Whenever I renamed my main, it deleted all of my freaking tables here, so, or my databases. So, I'll be back in a minute when that's fixed, and then I would assume that this is probably working. You guys are probably all laughing at me right now because yours is working if you followed along properly. Mine got deleted when I renamed. Yeah, so stupid revision controls a pain in the ass sometimes. All this because of a stupid renaming that chooser table. Anyway, I'll be back when I get all these refilled, so and it should be working. Alright, so after getting everything all redone, all of my databases re-added, there's a issue I believe that is with turn in place. Just check this out. It's the Exorcist. But yeah, I'm gonna double check all my turn in place settings and then possibly just disable it because it looks like the turn in place from the game animation sample is now working partially because I've sort of hooked it up. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that stuff. I'll be back. Alright, so it looks like that took care of everything there. For some reason I had to delete the loop off my stand idle database. This the only animation that was on there. I had to remove it and then re-add it into the database, and then it stopped T-posing for me. So everything's all good now. That we got everything replaced here. Everything seems to be working. One thing that I do need to do is go back through all my dents and set these couple of different variables here, but I don't think that really makes much of a difference at this point. It is all working here. And to be honest, I don't really know if there's much of a difference going on having those normalization sets in there or not. There could be that I'm just not seeing it, but in any event, it looks freaking amazing. And everything animation-wise except for traversal should be in here now in the animation blueprint. And to be honest, there isn't really anything else in the actual animation blueprint for traversal. It's all done through the character. So I'm going to take a look at that next, and we'll see. I guess maybe these turn pivots are a little bit better with the normalization, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It does look good, though. And I don't, you know what? I don't know. Did we go over this part? I don't even know if it does anything right now. So I'm not sure where it's getting, where this variable's getting set from. But you want to go to the motion matching here under blend time. You want to set it to a pin, and we're going to use the get blend time, which is one of these events or functions over here. So set it to that. And then a couple other things here. I can't find it on Animation Blueprint. Maybe one of you guys knows where this stuff is at. But we'll look at them, compare them here. There's that. Where's mine? Right here. We're going to have to move this over here. Oop. Yeah. What do we want? Alright, so on the motion matching node, I went ahead and set them up on mine, the ones I could find. Dang it. There's a couple other settings here that we want to set up. We got their blend time set, and then also this mode. On ours, it would be just linear. You want to set it to the Hermite cubic in out as it is here. What else is edited here? Oh, play rate. They've got it from 0.85 to 1.15. And then this should notify, or should filter notifies is on. Max blend time to override animation. And then the player depth blend in time multiplier. So those are some settings on there that you want to set. I could not find this one. Like this is, they have these two here in animation sample, but all I can find is just a fast feet in here, so I'm not sure where these are at. I would think it would be in the data. But maybe not. I'm not sure where that's at. That blend profile comes from. Unless it's something that's actually set in the blueprint. But I'm pretty sure our blueprint is got everything that the game animation sample blueprint has, so I don't know. But that should be it. I mean, do you believe that's everything here? Check it one more time here. Turn in place is again using the SGK. I had to disable that because that was causing weird stuff. I don't know if you guys got yours to work or not, but what I did is just removed it from the chooser, our main dents, the stand idles, just highlighted the line, hit delete because it was right here, turn in place. So yeah, just boop, done, save. Don't have to worry about that if you added it. It's no big deal. All right, so hopefully it works out for you and you like it. And we'll catch you next time on the traversal tutorial. All right, so one more thing I wanted to show here is that the jumps, to show you that the heavy jump does actually in fact work. So here's a standard jump. And then I would call this a heavy jump. See, big difference there. So it's pretty cool.